No three players have clocked more time on the court together this season than Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic. And the Bulls will still finish below 500. That's got to be one of the most telling stats of the year.
It's disgusting.
Think about that. No three players have been on the court together more than Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic. You have had your supposed core. Call it the big three. And you're not a winning team.
You gave up 1 first-round draft pick to get one of them. You gave up 2 first-round draft picks to get the other one, and you signed them to a max, the other one. So I would say, yes, that is your big three.
That whatever it is, the big three, the core three, you're these pillars of your organization, and you're bad, and they've been there the whole time and performing fine.
And we still don't know what's going to happen with Vooch. And because they didn't trade him, I lean toward the answer of they're trying to keep him. But I sure hope it's not because they gave up 2 first-rounders for him. I like what I saw out of Vooch this year, but at the end of the day, the fit isn't correct. Those numbers say it. If your team is that fragile based on the need of a specific type of point guard, then that's a roster construction flaw.
They've had their guys. And quibble about Lonzo Ball, quibble about Caruso. Obviously, their belief is Lonzo was some kind of force multiplier in this. That was the catalyzing agent, the secret sauce, everything that made it go. But that's still a roster flaw.
That's it.
That's not a good roster.
If it depends on that,
right,
and it has to have that to work, then why did you get a player who you knew had injury history? If that's the case, if you need that person to be there 100% of the time in order to make it go, then you have to factor in that availability.
And just to finish out my point about Billy Donovan before, I think one half of it is what he's able to see and say about this team that has been, he tells obvious truths, but that's to the media. Does it mean anything if he says it to his bosses? They talk all the time. Arturas Karnisovas is a ghost. He's a cipher. He never says anything. We never see him. We don't know where he is.
He spoke at the All-Star break, right? Or at the trade deadline? One of the two.
And then he did that strange and rushed interview with Mully and Haugh on the Score because he was at the airport and the sound was bad and he had a plane to catch and there was a delay. It was just and that's what we have to go with. That's it. But if Billy Donovan was telling us last year, our record's great, but it's awesome when DeMar wins us these games at the buzzer, but it's really covering up a lot of inherent flaws. We can really use this, we can really use that, and that's more than a year ago. So when they say we talk all the time, does it matter what he thinks?
Well,
you signed him to an extension.
You're also missing one key component in this. You mentioned 2 of the 3, Mark Eversley.
I don't know anything about him either.
Would like to hear from him more.
Would you know his voice?
No.
I mean, we hear him every once in a while, but I couldn't. If somebody played a cut and said, "Who is that talking?" I don't think I would know his voice.
I know AK, but that's because he's pretty distinctive.
Yes. I mean, it's got a Lithuanian accent that is distinctive, but it's there seems to be things that just aren't connected with this team.
I'm not sorry that I'm already looking to the offseason here to figure out how they put this together. I'm not the only one. We ask Casey Johnson every other week what the latest is on trying to figure out if Vooch is going to sign here or if they're trying to sign him here or if he leaves. And that's a lot of capital where you're trying to figure out what to do. Two-way bigs, though, unicorns. They're hard to find, and they get paid a lot of money.
3-and-D dudes.
Lonzo is the 3-and-D dude.
Other teams have those guys that the Bulls don't have. The Bulls are playing a different game than other teams on too many nights. And when they do put it together, when they are getting turnovers and deflections and getting out in the open court, there have been some really fun nights. But that Memphis game feels like it was 10 years ago now. And they do that. They have this way of creating like an observational bias because it's like self-sabotage. Like these people that have that pathology that say we're not entitled to happiness or success or good relationships, and it's a psychological pathology for people who ruin things because they don't feel worthy. The Bulls have like this, like anytime something good,
I dated most of those guys.
They'll just like throw a clunker in there because it's almost like they feel they're not allowed to sustain the good stuff.
Inconsistent teams, inconsistent. That's what they do.
That's what it looks and feels like.
They make it a verb.
Let's talk.
The frustrating part too is I like all of that.
Yeah, I know. That's.
I like DeMar.
I'm not.
I like Andre Drummond. I like Vooch. I like Zach LaVine. I don't feel like anybody has said anything that is out of turn or that I disagree with.
Right, and that was wow. We'll get some sandpaper in here with Patrick Beverley. That'll shake things up because that guy doesn't care what people say about him, and that's just what this team needs. And he'll be the electrifying force because that guy does no F's left to give.
No, I mean I like what Patrick Beverley is doing, but even that guy knows when to press his foot on the gas and when to take it off sometimes. He played with LeBron and some of the biggest stars in the NBA. Like, he knows what to do there. But either way, it is what it is, and it's been what it's been. What it is, it's there.